welcome to another video of Scrivosphere. Now, before we carry on with what is today's video, I want to point out something. I am sorry that I haven't been around recently. I understand that you've all been waiting for certain videos. What it is I'm changing up a little bit of the system. But the device that I've been using didn't give me a lot of time with the videos, which ended up cutting videos short. So now we're all back up and running. So first things first, as I said before I get on with the video, the way I do things will change with a certain video format that I do. Not the way I do the video, but when it's released. I realise that the news video weekly thing is a little bit harder for myself, especially with the way I live at the minute. So you will be getting those news roundups, but they will now be monthly news roundups, which I think will give me enough time to collect all the information I need and give you a better video and a little bit more streamlined down to what the news is. It'll give you a little bit of a longer video as well. So, obviously with the horror series that I've been doing, my Friday the 13th video also screwed up. So that is still on the way. So, let's go on with today's video. And today's video is all about Supernatural. Obviously, I've missed the last review for 2 episodes now. So I'm very behind. With another episode coming up on Thursday. So, what I'm doing here is I'm reviewing the 2 episodes that aired the past 2 weeks. So, let's start with that first episode, which took you back to what was, I assuming, what you felt like was Sam and Dean's first hunt as brothers. Like, well, not as brothers, because they are brothers either way. But it was like their first hunt, giving you a little bit more background. This episode, I felt like it missed a hit. While it is a decent episode, and I did enjoy it while watching it, it definitely takes you back to those early days, like the first few the first few episodes that they used to do, like the first few series where they used to go down and delve into that flashback style thing. And I think that's where it feels a little bit jarring with everything going on at the minute. With God, obviously we had Billy in this episode, where it was really interesting because they had like Billy in this episode where, you know, she meets up with Dean, tells him about Jack, which Dean decides not to tell Sam just yet. But then like it's just sort of like there's a lot going on. It's not just like, you know, I think Castiel told Dean about Jack, not Billy, in the previous episode, at the end of the previous episode. But Billy gives a little bit more information on it, and also brings you the whole thing about God being pretty much done with the rest of the universes. That the only universe left is our universe that we are living in now. So yeah, while the beats of like the old hunt coming back was very much like an old episode. While it is enjoyable, it is problematic at the same time. It sort of struggles to balance what's happening now in comparison to what's happening with, you know, the hunt. And this whole witch type ghost thing, which was very weird. It's a very different type of hunt. But it definitely felt like an old episode, which is what I enjoyed about it. But again, I think it does struggle a little bit. And then, of course, we had that ending where Dean tells Sam, and Sam's not happy. I mean, it's only an hour difference for us, you know, in comparison to where Dean found out to Sam found out. But for them, it's about a week, maybe 2 weeks. So there's a lot going on. I think actually, when you think about it, it's a couple of days, because the whole thing at the start is like they got the text about their friend who's died, Obviously, who the kid that they helped back in the day. But as well, another thing I got to mention is that these two new kids that are playing young Sam and young Dean, they're a little bit. They're nowhere near as good as the past ones, but they're all right. They're decent. You know, the guy that's playing Dean, yet again, they seem to get Dean down really well, but Sam always feels like it's just another kid. It could be any old kid. You know, it doesn't feel like Sam. And I think because of everything that's happened, everything, you know, Sam has changed. It was also in this episode that he got the idea to go to college as well. I really thought they were going to go down a really different path here with Dean towards the end of the episode, where, like, young Dean, because I honestly thought he was about to say to him, yeah, go off and do college. But that didn't happen. I mean, it might have been like, you know, whoa, hang on a second. You know what I mean? It might have brought you back a little bit and thought, so all this time it was Dean that gave the idea to Sam to go to college. But now he gets the idea in this episode to go to college and be able to do whatever he wants on his first hunt, no less, with Dean. So, you know, it is a good episode, but again, it has its problems with where it fits in this season. Especially when you've got only so many episodes to go. I understand the whole filler type thing that they have to do to make sure that the story lasts all through the season. Because obviously, if you add what happens in the next episode, then you've got to come up with something else, and that's another filler episode after the important stuff comes. So, moving on to the next episode, called Unity. Sorry, I can't remember the episode before, but this episode, Unity, is a very good episode. So, it starts with Amara, and she's looking up at the sky, and she's like, welcome home, brother. And it's like, you know, oh shit. You're thinking, oh shit, he's done with every other universe, and now he's back in our universe. Then Amara obviously appears in the bunker. She's there to help. And then you see a sort of like, okay, so this is where everything's going. This is what's happening with this person. This is what's happening with these two. You know, that's what it is throughout the episode. You know, you get the Amara moment where she's talking to God. She's talking to Chuck. Trying to calm him down. Trying to say, you know, let's live in this universe. This is the only universe left. Let's leave it be. And he's not having any of it. Eventually, she takes him to the bunker. Traps him there. You know, God's really pissed off about it. He's like, you know, this ain't going to keep me forever. Okay, so then you go on to the Jack and Dean story, where Jack's got to get this bone. You know, he gets this bone from this geezer who, like, you know, it took me a while to recognise this guy. Like, I recognised him straight away. And I thought, where the hell has he been before? Smallville. Dr. Emil Hamilton. You know, and he sort of plays that when he was drunk in Smallville. It's sort of like they've just extended that role a little bit. But there's this weird thing where Jack goes and he has to sort of choose something that's a divine, God-like item. But they're all a bunch of stones, and he picks one. And you can see from, I'm going to call him this, you can see from Dr. Emil Hamilton's, I'm just going to call him Hamilton. You can see from Hamilton's face that he's not very happy that he's only picked one stone. But then he says all of them. And then he says everything. Because at the end of the day, everything is made by God. Therefore, everything is divine. So he passes this test, gives him his rib, give him a piece of his rib. Sam and now, you know, Jack and Dean are on their way over to the bunker, and they get the phone call from Cass saying that that Amara is there with God. And then Jack obviously melts this rib, giving him the power to, you know, be able to take down God in this moment. And obviously Amara. Both of them will die. You know, we go back to we go back to God and Amara, where God's trying to tell Amara that they're going to kill her too. And you see it on her face, she's like, she's starting to understand where God's coming from. And that moment where God's holding his hand out, he's like, come on. And Amara just goes into God. And you see his eyes, there's like a blue eye and a black eye. And it's like, whoa, this guy was a problematic psychopath before. And now he's going to be even more trouble. Because he's got Amara on his side. Literally, inside. More like. But while all this is going on, Sam and Cass have their sort of thing, and obviously Castiel's like, he doesn't want Jack to die. Sam is adamant that that's not the way to go, and you know, that really does push forward into this episode. Sam is absolutely adamant that there is no way on this earth that it's going to end with Jack killing God and killing himself and Amara. That's not what's going to happen. So Sam finds a way. They do this whole book thing, and it's a bit Beetlejuice for a second. There's a wall. I mean, obviously they don't draw the door. If they had drawn, I mean, that would have been an absolutely brilliant side of the story where they had drawn the door. Because, you know, it's just like Beetlejuice, right? But anyway, the door forms from a spell, and with a key, they open the door, and Sammy has gone into Death's door, basically. He's gone through Death's door. He's in Death's office with all the books, and, you know, you've got the W's. And as Sam's walking around, there's all these dead bodies. And you're thinking, who the bloody hell's doing this? Who's sitting in Death's chair? Bloody Meg. Now, obviously, like Sam would think, and like we thought at the time, what the hell's Meg doing back? And I love the fact that they brought this actress back. She's a brilliant actress, and she was brilliant in the part of Meg. But in this instance, she's the empty, and she wants death. The whole deal that was made, this is where gets revealed. The deal that was made was that Death was going to become the new god, and Empty would be able to go back to sleep. That was the plan. Sam gets there. He wants the book, God's book, the book that ends God. You know, the book that was shown to us in a past episode. And it's really like, whoa, what's Sam going to do here? She could easily kill him. You know, she starts doing the thing, you know, where he's like, oh my God, it's killing me, sort of thing. And then you get to the real just part of Sam saying, Death sent me for the book. Death is on Earth. You can't go to Earth, can you? That's really good. So Sam comes out with the book, and at this point, Cass turns to Sam and says, Amara's got God here. At that point, that's when they go back to the car, and Jack does the thing with the reap to give him this pepper. And Jack is ready to take God and Amara and himself out. Now, this is where it kicks off. And it's like, it's really frustrating to see the way Sam and Dean are with each other, even towards the end of the series. But this whole scene where Dean is carrying Jack through the bunker, and Sam and Cass are standing there, like Sam is absolutely stopping Dean and Jack from doing what they're going to do. At this point, obviously, God has already taken Amara in. But like on the way there, Sam is stopping them. Dean is stopping Sam. They fight. And it's really like as I say, it's frustrating to see Sam and Dean fighting this close to the end of the series, because, you know, it actually it actually breaks my heart to see them doing this. When you're watching the show, and especially when you watch the series through and through, and you know just how close they are, but when they disagree big time. And in this instance, it's pretty upsetting to watch Sam and Dean fight. Cassie's just sort of standing there like, well, I really want God gone, but I don't want Jack gone. You know what I mean? So Cassie's sort of like in between. That's why he doesn't get involved in the fight, because he doesn't know where he truly stands in this instance. He wants Jack to survive, of course, but he wants to end God. Dean is like absolutely adamant that this is the only way. Sam adamant that it's not. And then, of course, you get the big bang. You know, door smashes. God's back. You know, God has escaped that room. And he comes out and he's there and he's like, he has this big thing where it's like, you know, you really think you could kill me? You know, you know what? I hope you enjoy this now. And then he's like, watching him die. And then God's gone. And then Jack obviously collapses down, holding his stomach, and it's like, oh my God, you can't end the episode there. That's literally what I actually said that when the episode ended. How dare you end the episode there, like, sort of thing. It was like, oh my God, there's 3 episodes left. Are we going to lose Jack early, and then they're going to have to figure something else out with God? Now, I really don't want, like I'm going to talk now, like, the episode was brilliant. This is one of the best ever episodes of the whole series, which is strong to say, and I think this will really change. This could actually change where I put this season in my ranking list, which was best to better, because Supernatural is a show that is worth the best to better line for me. You know, Supernatural has been good through and through. You have the weaker seasons, but they are not terrible. And they are worth watching. So I'm going to just talk about at the end. I don't want the series to end where they're still hunting. You know, the last episode is called Carry On. Now, it could mean a lot of things. It could mean that, you know, does Sam have to carry on without Dean? Does Dean have to carry on without Sam? It could mean that they carry on hunting, but they show us a bit of a montage of them hunting, and the years go by, and then it shows them dying together. The end. I don't know if Cass is going to survive the end of the series. I hope he's there in the last episode. I really do. I don't want them killing. If they kill Cass off before the end of the series, I'm going to cry, and I'm going to hate the show. I'm really going to hate it. I don't want this series to end where it leaves a cliffhanger sort of thing, where it's like, oh, well, if they're still hunting, why not show us them still hunting? Why not carry on the show? You know what I mean? I don't want that. I want there to be a definitive end to Sam and Dean. Whether that be killing them or whether that be living a life. Now, there are a lot of people saying that they think that it's going to end where God sort of comes to terms with the fact that Sam and Dean are their only. You know, I think that a lot of people might think that he might start again with a new universe where Sam and Dean aren't hunters. You know, that thing might still be out there. Ghosts, demons, there might be another set of brothers, might be a set of sisters, might be a brother and sister out there doing the hunts that they did. But while Sam and Dean are living a normal life with their mum and dad. That is something that people are saying that's going to happen. If that happened, then that means it erases everything that's happened up until this point, which is like, it's like The Walking Dead, back when there was rumours that they planned to end it where Rick would wake from his coma again, and none of it happened. None of it happened. And it was all in his head. That would absolutely piss me off. You know, where have all the characters come from that he's seen along the way? Are they all doctors, patients that have gone in his room at some point? So he's seen them, in a sense he's seen them, but he hasn't. You know what I mean? So I hope they don't do that with The Walking Dead. I really don't. And I hope they don't do that kind of thing with Supernatural. These 2 episodes, when you put them together, that second episode is whoa in comparison to that first episode that I reviewed, where it's like, they're both really good episodes, and this series is shaping up to be the best ever season. Obviously, I think they've got past the homages to the old episodes and the old series. They obviously did that big 2-3 part thing at the start of the series, which really slowed down the story a little bit. But then they sort of hit these beats where it's like, hey, do you remember this kind of thing? What we're doing it again? Lilith, Adam, the Meg type thing with the empty. And we're also getting Uriel return at some point as well. which is crazy, you know, because he was a son of a bitch, as Dean would say. But this was my Supernatural video. As I say, I am sorry that this hasn't come out any sooner. This will be out today, Tuesday, the 3rd of November. This will be out today. I will also be planning to do my horror series. I'm continuing with that, but there is a change with the horror series. I have got a new name for it, something that I may put at the start of the Friday the 13th. For now, the Friday the 13th is a horror series video, but the horror series video will now be melded into the franchise series video, where I'll take a franchise, horror, sci-fi, action, comedy, romance. Not romance. I probably won't do romance. Maybe one video. P.S. I love you. Decent. Anyway, but that's what's coming very soon. So you will be getting my Supernatural reviews for the last 2 episodes, and my Supernatural, you've just had the Supernatural, and my Friday the 13th video, both Tuesday, November 3rd. So please look ahead for those. The time frame at the minute is not very tight. Please like, comment and subscribe on my channel. It is much appreciated. And click that notification bell if you want to be notified when my videos are uploaded. Let's continue. So Supernatural is coming first, and then you get the Friday the 13th video. I recently watched another series called Dead Last from the Movie Timeline guy, and their list for the Halloween films is very different to my list. Amazingly different. Obviously, it's not just him. For me, it's just me. I've not done a consensus or point system or anything like that. I've not put it out there for everybody to do a review and put where they think the films deserve to be. It's all my opinion. But where their list ends up and where my list ended up was very different. And that's what I like about doing these kind of videos. I like to share my opinion, but I also like to enjoy other people's opinion. And it was quite interesting to see that from the start, it was very similar with the Halloween series. Like, they put Resurrection last, whereas I put Halloween 2 last. Whereas it was the other way around for them, you know? So it's really interesting the way they go. Like, they started with where I thought they would start. But it ended up being very different. I mean, my number 1 was their number 1, you know. But H2O was a lot higher than theirs. Halloween 2 wasn't anywhere near where they put it. The original Halloween 2. So, you know, there's all these differences. But this is why I love doing my videos. I like to compare them. I do watch these videos to help me give me a reminder of how the series went, especially with the Friday the 13th. I've struggled so much with the Friday the 13th because certain films sort of meld together. So if I've got anything wrong with the Friday the 13th, I'm sorry, but the list stands where it is. I made sure that the list does make sense. But the things that I might say in the video might not. Anyway, that's my video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. As I say, you'll get this video today, Tuesday, November 3rd, and you'll get my Friday the 13th video just after that, Tuesday, November 3rd. So, I've been Squivo. This has been Squivo Sphere. I understand there's not been anything special. I am working on it. I'm working on it being more than just me standing here and talking to you. So, as you've seen with my horror series. So, hopefully I can do that with the Supernatural. I may wait until I do another Supernatural video for another 2 weeks, get 2 more episodes in, and then I can do the finale. A big hour talk, maybe, on the finale. Talk a little bit around it. I'll do a big old script for that one. I'll tell you now. So, that's been my video. I've been Squivo. This has been Squivo Sphere. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.